Playground. Go 4, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming. Broadcast agencies and internationals first, as usual, and then we'll break cameras off and move to the dailies, which will be embargoed, usual terms. With that, Nick, why don't you start?
Andre,
Yeah, it should be okay. Trained almost, trained 100% with the team today, so it should be okay.
What did you make of this performance for England?
Well, I didn't see it because I went to see another game, but I was informed about these substitutions for that injury, but nothing else.
He talked again about wanting to play as the number 9 in the middle of a front three. Are you tempted at all by that prospect?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Why is that?
Because we have three strikers, three wonderful strikers, which are the ones that are entitled to that position, and Daniel knows that from the beginning of this season, since I spoke to him.
He also backed you and called on his fellow players to unify behind the team between now and the end of the season. Are you encouraged to hear things like that?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think we must construct on this last win that we have. There is a slim chance of the third place getting closer to us this weekend if we do our job, and with that big clash between Tottenham and Man United. And we have to put it into perspective. I think, Tottenham's title contention lasted 1 week, because after that the results didn't happen. But we have a slight chance, and we want to push for it, and we have to take this responsibility and this opportunity in the end. But we need to do it with results.
If you are to push for fourth and indeed third, is it the away form that needs to be addressed? It's what, 2 points out of 9, isn't it, last 3 away games?
Well, yeah, but I think, to be fair, broadening up the situation a little bit, we have been competent away from home as well. Our numbers are not great, entertaining, but we have 5 wins and 5 draws, 3 losses away from home. It's respectful, but not up to our standards, and we want to improve with the win. At the moment, I think the most important thing is to focus on what we still can do in this league. It can go into equation that the third place becomes nearer to us. We don't know, but for us to have that opportunity, we must do our job and win the game.
Regardless of whether he was referring to Frank Lampard or not, what did you make of David Luiz saying that no player should ever forget he's just a club employee?
Well, I think it's no different from any other club. No, in the end, we are all employees of the club and professionals of the club, and in the end, players have to take responsibilities. Managers have to take responsibility from the owner, and so on and so forth in a normal club structure.
And how would you describe your relationship with Frank Lampard?
Good, excellent.
You suggested for the first time the other day on Portuguese radio that it's not guaranteed that you'll continue to see this project through.
Yeah, but I said exactly the same thing in the press conference, but you guys were a little bit distracted. I said exactly the same thing. What would be the impact of a change in the actual running of the results, and what would be the projection of the future? The only thing I extended in the radio interview, which was open to you guys, but you guys left, was that there was a doubtness over the future, which lies in every single job in our lives, in mine and in yours. In the end, we all have to compete to be successful, and you guys the same, and everybody is more or less under threat as you continue to build positive or negative results.
Do you think March might be the month that will define Chelsea's season? And I say that because you've obviously got the Champions League, the FA Cup, and games with Spurs.
Well, it can define the season in terms of continuity or not in those competitions, for sure. I mean, one competition will be decided in the middle of May, which is the Premier League. The other ones we will hope to continue progressing on them. But on that sense, yes, if you don't win them, can define a trophy-less season for Chelsea.
Did West Bromwich Albion surprise you at the start of the season a bit? They came to Stamford Bridge and very nearly pulled off a result, didn't they, against you?
Well, it was a long time ago, of course, beginning of the league. Different situation now, different run of results recently for West Brom, from the shift from 4-4-2 to 4-3-3, which they've been doing very, very well. Two amazing results against the Wolves and against Sunderland. So I think for sure a different West Brom, a different Chelsea than the one in the beginning. But doesn't take away our responsibilities, and we'll need to focus on trying to win.
Any further news on John Terry and his recovery?
Well, he's progressing extremely well, to be fair. So he was out with the physio today, increasing his range of movements. So we're looking positive. Still early doors, but looking positive on his return.
There's a meeting over the weekend with the rules board to examine potential rule changes for next season. One of them being a fourth substitute to be allowed in extra time, and also perhaps no automatic red card for a professional foul. Do you have any views on that? Do you think that they're...
Well, I think, to be fair, I think the extra substitution would be a good idea. On the other one, I haven't formed my opinion yet. I'll need to know the full content on how it applies and how it should be applied, and I have no opinion formed yet.
Yeah. Just before we move on John Terry, yes, he was outside doing some stuff today. I think over the coming days he'll be inside and outside. So there's a mixture of stuff going on with his rehabilitation. So if he's not spotted outside in the next few days, it won't be that there's a setback. It's just that he's inside and out. John.
Andre, just to clarify over what you said in the Portuguese radio interview, you've always said to us that this is a 3-year plan, and you're fully confident that it's a 3-year plan. You've got the backing of everybody. So what you said in the radio interview about a doubt over the future, can you just clarify why actually you did say that?
I said that there was a doubt because it's always correlated to results, and as long as you keep yourself into the job, you have to project the future. You only stop projecting the future when you get out of the job. It doesn't make any sense anymore. So at the moment, we have the confidence to continue to project Chelsea's future and improve the present, and that was the statement.
So the 3-year plan. There is a doubt over whether you would.
I think it's related to results. I mean, I cannot be here next year and speak about I have 1 more year plan, which next year evolves like this year, the responsibilities over the success of the team, which we haven't done this year. So we'll need to improve even better for next year.
So how key is the next 6 days in the long-term plan and
Well, they are key just because you can be out of 2 competitions, or you can continue in 2 competitions. But then April will be key, and May will be key, depending on whatever happens. So at the moment we have a tough job to do against Napoli, and we have a tough job to do against Birmingham. And only in the league we have this chance that this weekend we can approach the 3rd place in a different way if we win and Man United get something out of the game against Tottenham.
From what you know of the owner and from what you said about how he's dealt with managers in the past, will he be patient if you go out to the Champions?
Well, you have to ask him. I'm sorry, you have to ask him.
Fernando Torres, what's he done this week? Have you given him a bit of time off?
No, we decided to for the first time this season, I think, to give 3 days off for the players, because March going well will be extremely tight in terms of competition. We understand that it's a week's training, but we felt the need for the players to have these 3 days off, mixed with the international fixtures. But no extra days. He was back in training on Wednesday.
What is his state of mind? Because you can understand that he must be fairly low. He's been left out of the Spanish squad. He's struggling to get into your team. He hasn't scored since October.
Well, I think I think it's unfair to say that he's been struggling to be in our team. He's playing in the last 11 games. He played 10 games. So he is there competing for his place. Didier returned, of course, from the African nations, which increases competition for him. But I think the player feels extreme motivation to try to come back. It depends on him, of course.
Is it a key role for you to try and build him up?
I just have to build a team and put my team performing. And that is the most important thing. The team, of course, is based on individual, and I want the individuals to perform. And Fernando, for me, is performing for the team whenever he's called up. So I have no problem with it.
It seems to whichever manager's at this club, there's always a constant link with Jose Mourinho at this club and possibly coming back. Do you think for any manager, for you, there's always his shadow lurking?
Well, I think the only place where Jose's shadow isn't lurking is in Barcelona. In the rest of the world, his shadow is lurking everywhere. He's one of the best managers in the world. So if you can trade a successful manager for the best manager of the world, everybody wants it, no?
This club in particular, it seems, whichever manager sits there, he always seems to be...
Well, but I think it's normal for the history that he left in this football club. I think it's a presence ever felt. It's I mean the most successful part of this club's history is related to Jose. So it's normal.
Ben?
How's Didier
In terms of
fitness?
yes, good. It's good. Yeah.
He'll be
Extremely
fit
good.
for us.
Yeah.
You mentioned your relationship with Frank. He said last week that your relationship hadn't been ideal. Have you spoken to him about what he said since then?
No, not at all.
Do you think there's a need, because you say it's perfect, he says it hasn't been ideal, do you think there's a need for you two to come together and discuss your relationship?
No, we are not married to each other. I think it's just a manager-player relationship. In the end, I think. I think Frank's words are genuine. I'm not, to be fair, I haven't read the content of Frank's words. But if they are like you say, I mean, they are genuine from a player that has a reflection of a relationship in between us. I think it's for me it's fine. I have no problems with it. I have to choose the team, and I try to choose a team for the best team for every single game. Sometimes it doesn't involve or hasn't involved Frank in a couple of times, but doesn't mean that I have a personal problem with him. His own interpretation of the relationship is his own. But I have no problem with it, and I explained it to him. His decisions that I have to take for the benefit of the team always.
Are you worried that the fans might take Frank's side over you?
No, not at all.
Because obviously
I think the fans take the team's side.
it's like last week, you obviously got a massive.
Yeah, we were winning 3-0. Everybody's happy, you know.
Sure, but they were sort of deliberately chanting his name.
No, I don't think so. I thought he's a legend of the football club. If they chant his name during all game, that because it represents exactly that. He achieved 2 great individual records on that game, and I think he fully deserves it. I hope one day to have the curriculum that Frank has in this football club, which is amazing in terms of trophies. If that is the case, that means that I will be a successful manager, and my shadow will be looking around the managers of this football club.
Has there been any reaction from the club, from Roman or from people above you, to the interview you gave in Portuguese last week? Has anyone said we're unhappy with anything that you said to the Portuguese radio?
No, just Steve. The rest, just Steve got a little bit annoyed because he had 3 days off and he had to work a little bit more. But on the other front, nothing else. Nothing else. No. Well, I'm in no position to comment. Again, your editorial choices, but I think to portray small phrases and take them out of context in the negativity, it's something that I have to take, but it's not very pleasant to see. Because all of the interview, particularly regarding Fernando, for example, is in a positive way. But you chose to take the phenomenon part of the fact that it happened for this football club before with Sheva and Kesmond. Not on a sense of a critique, but on the sense of demand that is put on strikers to perform in this football club. And 2 of the best in the world hadn't performed in the past towards the expectancy that the fans were having and that the football club was having, and we want to avoid this situation to happen again. So the rest of the content on that interview is positive towards our trying to help Fernando to reach this level, but you chose to pick up the negativity, which I think is very, very unfortunate, but I have to accept.
So you're confident he won't end up like Shevchenko and Kevin and Graham?
I'll do everything in my power to help him not to.
Just one more. Hulk, you've talked about him in passing. Is he a player that you would like to bring here?
I just said that it fits the profile of the player that we will be looking for next year.
Would you like to bring him?
Well, it fits the profile. I mean,